How's it going, everybody? It's Warren, and welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk about all things Marvel and everything relating to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And today we actually have quite a bit of news. We have some Captain Marvel 2 news, which could coincidentally also be some new Avengers news as well. And then we have some Spider-Man 3 news about what the new title could possibly be. And I gotta tell you, it makes a lot more sense than the title that we've recently heard, Spider-Man Home Safe. So I'm excited that this new title could actually be the real title and sounds better than that. And then to top it all off, we have some Moonknight and Blade possible details about their upcoming movies and shows in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So let's dive right into it. But first, if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news, and so you can enter this week's giveaway for a chance to win a Gambit Funko Pop. All you gotta do is subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below to enter. So to kick things off, the great news is that Marvel hasn't really stopped working due to the pandemic. Yes, some of their production sets have got shut down, but behind the scenes in secure locations such as directors' homes and such, they have still been working. Plus, they have definitely been doing Zoom meetings with several people. John Krasinski is one of them who had a Zoom meeting with Marvel over this pandemic. And further proof to this is that we just got news about Captain Marvel 2. And that news is that Captain Marvel 2 now has a director. According to a report from Deadline, filmmaker Nia DaCosta has been tapped to direct the anticipated sequel to Captain Marvel. Nia has recently directed the reboot of Candyman and is now going to step into the Marvel Cinematic Universe to direct Carol Danvers plus a lot of other characters as well. As you may have heard me mention in the past, Captain Marvel 2 is reportedly going to be sort of a mini Avengers film, much like Captain America Civil War. It's kind of going to be an Avengers film just without the title. And there's a lot of new characters rumored to be introduced in this title as well. And this means that right now, currently, Marvel Studios has 10 directors chosen for 10 of their upcoming projects. We have Kate Shortland directing Black Widow, Chloe Zhao directing The Eternals, Destin Daniel Cretton directing Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, John Watts directing Spider-Man 3, Taika Waititi for Thor Love and Thunder, Sam Raimi for Multiverse of Madness, Ryan Coogler for Black Panther 2, Nia DaCosta now for Captain Marvel 2, Peyton Reed for Ant-Man 3, and of course, James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So Marvel has been working. They've still been doing a lot even though we're in this current pandemic, which is great news of course because we're all awaiting for something, a trailer, new footage, or simply a show or a movie to come out on Disney+. But don't worry, Marvel has been working and we should get something from them soon. And now for the Spider-Man 3 news. We have a report for a new title for the Spider-Man 3 film, and the title, like I said in the beginning, makes a lot more sense than Spider-Man Home Safe. Now, this source is not verified by any means, so take it with a grain of salt, but the recent rumor going around is that the Spider-Man 3 title is going to be called Spider-Man Can't Go Home. And this is probably the most fitting title that we've heard today. We know that Spider-Man isn't going to be able to go home. At the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, Mysterio set him up and made it seem like he was a murderer. And that's exactly where we're going to pick up in Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man on the Run. And basically all of New York City is going to be looking for him. All of the authorities are going to be going after him, and of course they're going to go to Aunt May's home because that's where he lives. And they're going to interrogate all of his friends, everybody at his school. So basically, his home, he's not going to be able to go back to, so Spider-Man Can't Go Home is a very fitting title for Spider-Man 3. Now, as far as when we're going to get the actual title, as I mentioned in a video a couple of weeks ago, Tom Holland himself had recently opened up and talked about his schedule. For the next few months, he's going to be filming Uncharted, and then he said he's going right into filming Spider-Man 3, so in a few months, he's going to start filming Spider-Man 3, and around that time is when we should get the title for the third film, and not to mention a lot of spoilers as well, because that's just what Tom Holland does. So we can expect an official reveal of the title coming up here in a few months. And then, last but not least, we have some Moonknight and Blade news. Now, this news is just a rumor for now. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but it does fall in line with everything that we've heard so far. And the rumor for Moonknight is that it's going to focus on mental disorders. Mental disorders, according to this rumor, are going to be a pretty big part of the Moonknight series. Now, if you've read any of the Moonknight comics, you basically know that Moonknight is kind of insane. He does some pretty crazy stuff in the comics, but that's because he suffers from DID, dissociative identity disorder. In fact, he has 3 different personalities, which are all separate from each other, each with their own distinctive traits and identities. So the fact that Moon Knight is going to be focusing on mental health kind of falls right in line with who Moon Knight is. And to top this rumor off about Moon Knight, it is also rumored that Marvel Studios would like Moon Knight and Blade to team up. Now, I've talked a little bit about how Marvel Studios seems to be developing their MonsterVerse, and reports in the past have said that Marvel Studios plans on bringing in the Midnight Suns. And this is going to be sort of a darker, more adult version of the MCU, focusing on characters like Moon Knight, Blade, Dracula, Morbius, and the Punisher. Right now, as it stands and appears to be seen, Marvel Studios' plan is to introduce a lot of different teams to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this is how they're going to differentiate themselves from the first 4 phases that we've had the Infinity Saga. Because as it stands right now, the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to have many different teams. It's going to have, of course, the new Avengers. There's also going to be a young Avengers team. We know that we're getting the Thunderbolts, and then we're going to be getting the Midnight Suns as well. But let's not forget about the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. So as you can see, there's going to be a ton of different groups coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all of which are going to ultimately lead up to a Secret Wars Battle World storyline. And not to mention, these are just the hero teams. Some of them are anti-hero teams, but all are going to be used for the most part to do good. We haven't even talked about the villains yet. With the X-Men in the MCU comes Magneto in the MCU, and there's a great chance that he's going to establish his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, bringing in some X-Men characters, some evil mutants that we've wanted to see in the MCU for a very, very long time now. So as it stands right now, the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe has never been brighter, and it's going to be much bigger than the Infinity Saga. And there's going to be more than just one storyline. In the first 4 phases, everything kind of intertwined with each other. That's the beauty of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Everything is connected, and of course, everything is still going to be connected in phase 5, 6, 7, and plus, but the stories will be a little bit separate from each other. With so many teams, it's going to have to be that way. You're going to have the X-Men doing one thing, the Avengers doing another thing, the Thunderbolts doing one thing, and the Midnight Suns doing another, until eventually they all start coming together, and in the final big showdown, the Avengers Endgame level event, they'll all come together to form a massive superhero team, which is something that we're all dying to see. So for the next few phases, this is Marvel's plan. Establish a ton of different teams and characters in the MCU, make incredible stories for them, both in the movies and on Disney+, and then eventually have a villain or villains so big like Doctor Doom and Galactus come into play and threaten the Earth and universe to make all of these different groups and heroes come together for a final showdown with them. And this will be the event that tops Avengers Endgame. And this is what Marvel Studios' plan is right now. So let me know how excited you are about the next few years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And let me know what you think about the title Spider-Man Can't Go Home for Spider-Man 3. And also let me know your thoughts on Moon Knight and Blade. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things relating to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For live updates, you can follow me on Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.